What is up, everybody? Riley here from Hotz Motors today with our newest giveaway truck. This is our 1992 GMC Typhoon, the coolest SUV maybe ever produced. This thing is so rad, and we're giving it away to one of you just by shopping on our website, hotzandmotors.com. But if you're watching this video between August 26th and September 2nd at midnight 2024. If you're watching this video after September 2nd, 2024, this giveaway is closed, but check us out anyway just to see what else we're giving away. If you don't know who we are here at Hotz Motors and you're just stumbling across this video right now, we buy, restore, collect, and give away awesome classics just like this one right here to people just like you, just by shopping on our website, hotzandmotors.com. This is our newest giveaway. This is a blank canvas giveaway, so we try to keep this truck as stock as possible with just a few tasteful modifications done to it. And then we give you $10,000 on top to make it your own, to make improvements on it and make it even cooler. So this is a 1 week giveaway, so really short giveaway. Just get in, get what you can, get your entries, and then you might just be taking it home. So really good odds of winning, and just an awesome truck. So let's hop right in. This video will be a walk around on this truck. This will not be a history lesson on the Syclone or GMC Typhoon. This is a walk around of this specific vehicle, but I will toss in some fun historical facts about it as we get going. But this truck is a piece of American history. It is very cool. It was the fastest truck slash SUV of all time for a number of years, and it was the fastest accelerating vehicle of all time when it came out, which is crazy as well. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I tried to brush up on all my history of this truck, but it was competing with things like Ferraris and Lamborghinis. Really cool truck. The way the truck was put together by the team who kind of pitched it to GMC, they did some cool things. They swapped parts with other vehicles to keep costs down, and we'll kind of highlight that stuff as we walk around and show you what well was done. But let's hop into it. Obviously, the most obvious thing on this truck that makes it really cool is that awesome body kit that sets it apart from a regular GMC Jimmy. Is that wide body kit. I love a wide body kit. I love fender flares. I love wide tires, and so it's just freaking cool. It's got a front splitter. It's got fog lights in the front splitter. It's got fender flares, side skirts, rear bumper, just wicked cool, and it makes it look really cool. Now, this is a bone stock Typhoon, except for maybe like the radio, the steering wheel, and the wheels. So this is stock ride height. The Typhoon, one way that it was cooler than the Syclone is this had automatic leveling rear suspension. And so this thing rides really nice and handles, pretty good for a truck. It's still a truck, not a sports car. So you might say, hey, this thing needs to be slammed on the ground. We even think that it needs to be slammed, but this is a blank canvas giveaway. We give it away in stock form, and we let you guys with your 10 grand in cash on top go in and make it even cooler. But as we work our way around, this is a brand new gloss black paint job that our friend Alejandro did for us. Really nice. We just finished color sanding this truck, so it is super glossy and super deep and very reflective. If there's any little imperfections as you see in the video as we go around, we're gonna fix all that. It's a nice paint job, and we want it to reflect that for the winter. But this is the original color, just really nice gloss black. You come around the front here, we've got some LED headlights up there just to make it easier to night drive, because this truck is completely daily drivable. Jay Leno daily drove his Syclone for a long time, so it's really cool. As we make our way down the side, we've got new Typhoon decals, because as we repainted it, one of the ways you can tell what year a Typhoon is by the color of the decal. So this is a 1992, so it has silver decals, and the 1993 had gold decals. These was only produced for 2 years. The pickup truck version of this was only produced for 1 year, 1991. There's only like 3,000 units of those and 4,000 units of these produced, estimated. So there are less than 10,000 Syclones and Typhoons ever produced. It's a rare vehicle. It's a piece of American history, which is really cool to give away. Something different about it is definitely these wheels. So these are C4 Corvette wheels that we had powder coated gloss black. If these were the original wheels, we wouldn't have done any black wheels on it, but I think they look awesome. It really accentuates the black of the vehicle, and I love the murdered out look. The C4 wheels are pure correct wheel. They look really cool. Wrapped around some brand new Milestar Sport tires. Very sticky, very quiet tire. Really nice. As we make our way down the side here, you'll see we've got a little aftermarket exhaust, side exit exhaust. Sounds really cool. These are really cool sounding trucks, especially because the 4.3 V6 is just a 350 Chevy V8 with 2 cylinders lobbed off. They sound really cool. They don't sound ricey. They sound very throaty, so it's a very cool sound. Make our way down out the back here, hatchback in the back, tons of space. Really cool lift gate here. You twist to one side, it pops the glass. New glass struts, did a bunch of restoration work back here just to make this nice and easy to work with. Pop to the right and it pops down your tailgate there. So lots of space, especially if you toss down your back seat. You can put a lot of stuff back here. These had a bigger payload because of the air suspension than the Syclone. The Syclone had a 500-pound payload, which drove a lot of people away from it. The Typhoon had a 900-pound payload, so you could actually haul some stuff back there. Also, that back seat made them far more desirable than the Syclone, because then it wasn't just a two-seater. Again, if you're gonna buy a two-seater back in the 90s, you're gonna go buy some sports car, not a little thing like this. So the fact that it's a four-seater really fast was a little bit more appealing. As we come up the side here, we'll hop in and show you guys the interior. That's about it for the exterior. Sometimes you'll see these Typhoons, they'll have a roof rack. Ours does not have a roof rack, which I actually really like, really sleek and look a little bit lower to the ground. But that's about it for the exterior. All we did was paint job and freshen everything up and clean everything up on the outside to those wheels and tires. As far as suspension goes and is concerned, this is all factory suspension, but it rides like a dream, and it handles great. All of the ball joints and brakes and everything else like that have all been gone through, and it's all nice and good and ready to go, so that you don't have to spend your 10 grand on that kind of stuff. But let's go ahead and hop inside and we'll show you some stuff on the interior. Alrighty, okay, on the inside, some kind of interesting and cool things to talk about what we did first. So one of the only things we did in here, besides just spruce everything up and paint what needed to be painted, was this really cool sports steering wheel from our friends at Forever Sharp. So really nice leather wrap wheel. This is the 92 interior. You'll see if you look up Typhoons, they've got a couple of different interior options, but we really like these seats. I'm glad we got one with this bucket seat because it has the Typhoon embroidery in the seat there. We went in, did a new shift boot because it was torn to pieces, and a new shift knob. Cleaned up our carpets really good. We gave our door cards a haircut with some clippers because they were getting old. We did Retro Sound's New York radio, which is a direct fit for Jimmy's and S10s and S15s. Very cool radio, and they have the best in and a halves out there. But again, one of the complaints of these trucks back in the day was that it was this sport truck, but it had this bare bones interior almost, which is, it's a fair enough critique, but they had to cut costs where they had to cut costs in order to make these at least somewhat affordable. Some other cool things in here, you have this cool center console with this deck lid that flips up this way. This is a 700R4 automatic transmission, which you would say, dang, a 700R4 handling all that horsepower, and I'd say, yep, but it shifts great, it shifts firm, it's awesome. There is our self-leveling rear axle. It does work. It's leveling the rear right now. We did have to throw in this odometer oil pressure gauge down here. As the factory gauges, the only gauge that doesn't work is the oil pressure gauge, and so we threw in this little odometer gauge. It fits in the rear shelf under the dash really nicely. It's a cool piece. These gauges are a funny and interesting story. This is one of the ways that the guys who built the Syclone were able to get away with it, was by using the gauge cluster from a 1988 Pontiac Sunbird GT Turbo. Super random, but they did so because this already had a boost gauge in it. And they're like, we'll use the Sunbirds as gauges in the Typhoon and in the Syclone to save money there. The dash is really interesting. You have AC controls here on the dash, and then like your headlight controls are on this side with your defroster and everything. You got a vent over here, a ball chiller 9000 underneath. You guys know that's my favorite. You know, any vehicle that's got the ball chiller is a A+ for me. Love it. And then, yeah, you got this shelf down below, and then your center console with a tiny little cup holders. Now, we've made a video on how to modify cup holders. This console is so rare, I will not be modifying it. We got some new Typhoon embroidered floor mats in there, and then in the back you can see the Typhoon back seat back there, also leather wrapped. The headliner is really nice in the truck. It's, I believe, original, but very nice headliner and looks great. So, you know, the interior is a little bit bare bones. If I were to win this truck, I would actually use my 10 grand, and I would actually do this interior up a little bit better. I'm not the biggest fan of the gray on the charcoal on the black. I would black this interior out, and so that's what I would spend my 10 grand on. You get a little dash mat up here, an old dash mat, just to protect the dash from the sun. We do have a crack in the dash over here, and don't want that to get any worse, so we've just got this dash mat up there to protect it and keep it from getting any worse. Still, it's an awesome truck, and I wouldn't care either way. So yeah, that's kind of my opinions on everything in here, but it's still a really cool interior and really fun. But you got power mirrors as well, power windows, power door locks, and so it's a little bit premium. You know, it's really nice. So let's pop the hood and let's talk about all the goodness that is up front. All right, let's pop the hood up in here. This truck has 130,000 miles, so it's low miles for the body, but it's still very healthy and runs really, really, really good. It's a blast to drive still nonetheless. But under the hood here, very cool, kind of all crammed in there, but let's talk about what we did, what we had to service and whatnot like that. So we did all new air conditioning, so dryer, AC lines, AC compressor, and AC blows nice cold as well with the AC blower motor. We went through, we pulled off the whole intake and serviced the intercooler and all that kind of good stuff as well. Did a new alternator too while we were in there. And so it's charging up real good, 14 volts, new battery, all that kind of good stuff. So she's ready to go in here, but it's pretty cool what they got cooking. So the story, the 4.3. So the 4.3 is what came in this truck originally. Now, the guy who came up with this idea was a big fan and worked with Buick Grand National. So the Buick Grand National was just this drag strip monster because it was a turbocharged V6, but it was a smaller displacement turbocharged V6. And he was like, man, it'd be so cool to mash that into one of these little trucks. But even though Buick was a GM-owned company, the motors are not just direct swaps. And so that wasn't going to work because that was going to be very costly to do. But the Jimmy and the S15 and the S10, they came with the 4.3 liter. And so what they ended up doing was they took a 4.3 liter, which is a good thing because it bolts up to the 700 R4, and they took this out and they sent it over to McLaren who builds supercars, and McLaren was actually the one who figured out how to turbocharge this. So again, to save cost, GM didn't go invent their own turbocharger for this. They bought a turbo from Mitsubishi, so this is a Mitsubishi turbocharger that again McLaren sourced and figured out how to mount, and then they sourced from Garrett this watered to air intercoolers, and then they took the 4.3 and they did custom pistons, custom push rods, custom rings, and so the internals on the 4.3 are not the same as your regular GMC S15 or GMC Jimmy, as you would see. Now you'll hear me reference both of those. The Cyclones and the Typhoons are so interchangeable. All the parts are interchangeable, so much so that they just kept the same intake manifold that says Cyclone. They have their own intake manifold, their own exhaust manifolds, all that kind of stuff that are special to this. Other cool things like a remote oil filter over there. It's rad, but it runs really good. It never overheats. Even while making boost, it's not going to overheat. It's just an absolute blast to drive. Another cool thing about these is that they were the first vehicle, the first SUV ever to have four-wheel ABS, anti-lock braking. It does brake really well, I will say. I mean, I've never had to lock the brakes up, but it does brake really nicely. Okay, so that's, I think, all I want to share today about under the hood. So let's shut the hood, and then let's go take this for a test drive so we can show you guys what it's like to drive this on the road as we cruise around. I will do some city driving and some highway driving, and then we'll finish up our video at the top of the parking garage of the Red Rock Casino. So let's go do that. All right, we are doing the driving impressions in our 1992 GMC Typhoon. Let's talk about all the goodness on this thing, what it's like to drive it on the street and on the highway, and what it would be like to go have some fun in it. It is very fun to drive. It is a spirited car, truck, whatever you want to call it, SUV, station wagon, hatchback. A blast to build boost in. So these are wastegated at 15 pounds, and old school turbocharged vehicles like this, gasoline vehicles, are very notorious for just like having crazy lag on the boost. And then it comes on and you're like, whoa, that's too fast. So this vehicle is just like that. If you've driven like 944 Porsche turbos or anything old school turbo, the boost lag is real. But it's really funny when a boost comes on, and it's very addicting. The ride quality, now because here at Hudson Motors we're always giving away big lifted trucks, you know, I am very much used to the ride quality on 4x4s. Although this truck is all-wheel drive, having it be, you know, lower to the ground and everything, the ride quality on this is pretty stinking nice. It's very cushiony, really nice to drive around town, and it is pretty sweet. Steering is great. You know, it's as good as you would expect from a Chevy Blazer or a GMC Jimmy, but it's still good. And again, I think my opinion on these are skewed because I'm coming from the classic truck world and the 4x4 world. And so if you're like a classic sports car person, you might say that like the Cyclone and the Typhoon, they're just straight line vehicles. And I'm like, no, this would be a blast to go carve up some mountain roads in, and way more agile than what we're used to. So everything's relative, right? But it's great, steering's great, brakes really good. Again, it's a little lightweight little thing, and so braking is really good and really easy. We are cruising right now, 45 miles an hour. It's really quiet in here, super quiet. Like I could whisper and you guys could hear me. So that's really nice. All you really hear is just that exhaust. Now, these V6s, they sound really good. I tend to think V6s sound awful. This thing is really throaty and sounds really cool. Does not sound like a V6 Raptor or anything like that. They sound really cool. AC's blowing ice cold. It's 105 in Vegas today, blowing ice cold in here, really nice. And it's just a nice little truck to be in. Seating position is good, and plenty of space. I'm 6 feet tall and have plenty of room, and I can go even farther back. So yeah, as far as that's concerned, things happy. We're cruising, and we're gonna go get on the freeway now and see what it's like. All right, we are on the freeway, cruising 65, 70 miles an hour. Again, so quiet in here, just a little bit of wind noise. Again, it's a brick of a vehicle, but still, it's very quiet. 280 horsepower and 300 something pound-feet of torque makes for very easy freeway cruising. I am very light-footed doing 70. Again, this truck has a top speed of like 125 miles an hour. and you feel it. You're like, oh yeah, if I wanted to go faster, it'll go faster. One-handed driving, just super light, super easy, and very confidence-inspiring as the truck is just planted on the road. Those Milestar tires, very quiet. It took that big bump. Only my little Toyota, it wrecks me at that bump. I took that bump real easy. So but those Milestar tires, very quiet on the highway as well, and super grippy. So a good tire choice. And yeah, it's freaking rad. So yeah, we are getting to our destination. We'll get up there, we'll finish up this video, and then and that'll be it. All right, we made it. She's awesome, okay? Awesome on the freeway, tons of power. Boost is so addicting, it's awesome. I love this thing. I've always said that Typhoons are on my short list of vehicles I'd like to keep for myself, but I can't keep this one. So we're giving away to one of you. So again, if you love it and you like this video and you want to win it and you're watching this before September 2nd, 2024 at midnight, you can get entered to win. Go to hotsandmotors.com. Every $5 you spend is one automatic entry to win. Go on, get something good. We've got more than just shirts and hats. We've got beef jerky, we've got tools, we've got lights, we've got knives, we've got all sorts of good stuff on there. So get on, get something good, and you might just be taking this bad boy home plus $10,000 in cash. If you like this video, check us out, Hots and Motors here down below on YouTube, and at Hots and Motors on Instagram and Facebook. Check us out for more, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.